Hi, I'm Terry, and this is the E-flite 1.1 meter PT-17. More specifically, this is the bind and fly version of the model. E-flite also offers a plug-and-play version. Now, both variants come with a brushless motor, 40 amp speed control, and 4 servos for the control surfaces. The differences are that the bind and fly model comes with a Spectrum AR636A receiver, which you can bind to your existing Spectrum transmitter. The plug-and-play version does not come with a receiver, so you can put in any brand of receiver you want. Both models also require a 3-cell 2200 milliamp hour LiPo battery. The way you see the airplane here is pretty much how it comes out of the box. It's a foam airframe, and it's already painted in this color scheme. Now, because it's in navy colors, it technically should be called an N2S rather than a PT-17, but let's not split hairs. I guess technically you could just call it a Stearman and avoid any debate. Now, the paint is all done very well, and the insignia are actually decals, but the sheen of the decals matches the sheen of the paint, so it's all very seamless and blends together well. You'll also notice that a pilot figure is included for the rear cockpit, which is a nice touch. Now, the only cosmetic change that I did make is on the front. E-flite includes a plastic dummy motor that goes around the brushless motor, and out of the box, this motor is all black. So I used some plastic model paints to add a little bit of color to it. For instance, I painted the crankcase and the spark plugs and the spark plug wires. It's all very simple stuff, but it adds an extra touch of scale realism. A unique feature of this model is that both wings can be removed without any tools. The top wing is held on by 4 pins that go through the front of the wing and engage with the wing struts. The bottom wing has a tab in the front that engages with the fuselage, and in the back there are small clips that you can rotate to disengage the wing. Because this model is so highly prefabricated, it doesn't take much time or effort to get it ready for flight. Plan on spending maybe an hour or two. Now, as I was going through those steps, I identified just a couple of areas that I felt like needed a little bit of modification. The first of those is the hatch that goes over the radio compartment. This hatch is held in place with magnets, and from the factory, there's a piece of clear tape that's attached to the back of the hatch and protrudes just a little bit. The idea is that that piece of tape acts as a grip for you to easily remove the hatch. It works well, but it didn't look so great. I quickly figured out that I could just pull that tape off and use the pilot bust as a grip for removing the hatch. This is a nice strong piece, and there's even a plywood backing plate on the bottom, so strength is not an issue. And I think the airplane just looks a lot better with the tape gone. The other modification that I made relates to how the battery is installed in the fuselage. With the stock setup, the battery is attached to a plastic tray, which is then inserted into rails on the fuselage. The problem that I had with this setup is that it didn't allow the battery to be placed far enough forward, and I needed the battery weight forward to get the correct center of gravity. And what I found was that if I elevated the battery a little bit, I could get it placed all the way against the firewall. So to address that, I added a piece of 5/8 inch thick foam to the tray with double-sided tape. Now I place the battery on top of the foam before securing it with the strap. I also found that adding hook tape to the battery allows the strap to have a stronger grip. And with this modification, I was able to get the correct center of gravity without adding any nose weight. I'm sure you want to know how this model flies. If I had to pick one word to describe its flying characteristics, it would be smooth. Whether you're just cruising the field in gentle circuits or doing aerobatics, this airplane seems to transition from one maneuver to the next very gracefully. I think some of that behavior can probably be attributed to the AS3X stabilization that's built into the receiver. But then again, this is a model of a Stearman, and if you've ever seen a full-scale Stearman at an air show, they behave the same way. In addition to the AS3X stabilization, this receiver also has another stabilization feature called Safe Select. AS3X is always active, but Safe Select can be enabled or disabled during flight. And the point of Safe Select is that it limits your bank and pitch angles during flight so that you don't get too far out of sorts. And also, if you let go of the right stick, it will auto-level the airplane. I think that pilots who are already comfortable flying 4-channel sport airplanes will likely turn off Safe Select with this model. The real benefit comes in with low-time pilots who aren't quite comfortable with this kind of airplane. They can get into a scale model sooner than they otherwise would have. Keep watching to see more flight footage of this airplane. And also be sure to read the full written review in Model Aviation magazine. Thanks for watching.